KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. All right, here we go. Wednesday, heading towards the weekend. I'm pretty excited. There's so much stuff going on this weekend. My goodness. Man, oh man. Ton of stuff is going to be going down. Everything from the Palm Beach International Boat Show. You got the Miami Open for tennis that is going to be going down. You got the Heat and Inter Miami and even the Florida Panthers all have home games this weekend. So you got all that kind of stuff. Man, that Ultra, crazy. Palm Beach Pride is going on Sunday.
So fun. We're getting excited about the float we're going to be on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Lots of cool stuff going on there. Always a very fun event. I notice it always seems to have great weather. You notice that?
Yes. This is the sweet spot right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing I thought was interesting about all the different EDM DJs. If you love EDM, my gosh, this has got to be your Christmas because it's Miami Music Week that is going on right now, and they have parties every single night of the week. A lot of these I don't even know of. In fact, I might have our daughter's friend on because he's going to every single one. So there's nobody more up the ass of Miami Music Week than my daughter's friend. So,
he is very plugged in.
Well, it's his job. So he does record label stuff, I guess, for a lot of EDM artists. So I guess he would have to be at all these things. And his girlfriend works at Space in Miami.
Not in space, at space.
At Space. Yeah, it's a club that looks like it's on fire from the outside.
Really?
The smoke coming off the...
This club is on fire.
It looks like it, yeah. And it never stops. I don't know when they shut it down. I honestly don't.
They don't, probably.
No, they've called me from there. It's 10 a.m. on a Sunday.
Dad, it's now brunch and we're still here.
It's dad time. Come on, Dad. And I'm like, no, I don't know. I can't even imagine. I mean, ugh.
Do you like doing a brunch, or does a brunch kind of exhaust you? You do
I
like
love
a
brunch. Brunch is good. Usually when it starts, and then the thing about it, typically what Kim and I do is we'll go for a drink or two, but then we peel off because, younger people in their 20s get pretty tore up pretty quick. So, yeah, a couple drinks, and then when you see them start to go, you're like, all right, get out of here.
When someone starts sweating and they get that damp hair and it's still air conditioned inside.
You can see it's just the next 5 hours are going to be full of bad decisions and drama. Somebody you can already pick out, be like, she's going to cry, and she's going to cry.
There's certain tells that start to happen during, it doesn't even have to be a brunch. There's just certain things where you got to get the fuck out of there.
And as soon as there's crying in the club, it's time to go.
Yeah, it's time to go. So, like I said, if you love the EDM, Miami Music Week, you got all kinds of stuff going on. Just even tonight on Wednesday, Nicky Romero is going to be at 11 Miami. Cedric Gervais is going to be at Live nightclub tonight. And then tomorrow, I'd mentioned that Diplo is going to be at 11 Miami with Idris Elba. And Mark sent in an email and he said, yes, I guess he is a legit DJ. He graduated from the National Youth Music Theater in London, and he spins house music, EDM, etc. So it's nothing that you would have heard, but he's very good at it. So it's just not an appearance, I guess. He's actually up there doing it.
He has he does a run on the Office as a character named Charles Minor, and it's one of my favorite parts of The Office. Yes, that's how I first got introduced to him.
Dang, all right. So he's going to be doing that. So it'd be interesting to see if he's just at the club or if he'll actually pop out at Ultra this weekend at Bayfront Park. So
you ever get the spirit to want to DJ? Just chicka. I'm talking about turning them tables, scratching it.
There was a short period of time where, because I used to always have to do the club thing, where the DJ, I kind of was lightly trained on it. I remember we had a friend that used to DJ, and he kind of brought me in and gave me a crash course on how to do it. And I was with our own current house DJ about a month ago, DJ Flash, and he was showing me, and he's got a really nice setup. It really is to the point, it will do everything for you.
It's so easy now.
Yeah, he's just like, you can do this and that, and he was giving me a run through of everything his board and deck or whatever you call it does. It just syncs everything up. There's
Chat
really...
GPT, sync and play.
Yeah, that's basically it. And I kind of wondered, I was like, all right, well... If you are a DJ, wouldn't you start to be slightly concerned that why would there ever be a need? You know, somebody had sent us an email being, look out, you know, ChatGPT is getting to the point where they're going to start doing radio morning shows. We played all that and listened to it. I'm not concerned.
Not yet.
We're good.
You just did a thing, or you read a thing where it should know everything about us.
Yeah.
And it was so wrong about describing
It
us.
shows you where you're off. And in fact, the guy who had sent that in, if you want to listen to all the descriptions of us, he said, hey, ChatGPT, tell me about Kevin from the KVJ show. And so he said, Michael, he emailed back and he said, so I also did what ChatGPT has to say about KVJ's kids. And it says about me, Kevin has a daughter named Caitlin. Spelled her name wrong.
Okay.
And
nailing it.
Yes. And also said she was born in 2004 and is currently around 18 years old.
That's not right.
Yeah, no, she is actually getting ready to turn 25 on Sunday, and her birthday is in 1998. So you're kind of off on that. She is occasionally mentioned on the show, and Kev has shared some information about her interests and hobbies. She's a talented artist and enjoys drawing and painting. Nope, not at all.
Have you ever seen her draw?
No, nothing. No, actually, she did the kid art that my wife hung all over the walls, but it's terrible. Even she said, she's like, Mom, take it down. This is the worst artwork. It really is. It's just awful.
From when she was 5.
She's just not, that's just not what God blessed her with. That's not her thing. It also says here on ChatGPT that she has been involved in theater productions and has acted in several plays. Nope, she has massive stage fright. Not going to happen.
Does it mention her podcast, Basic Boca Bitch?
No, it did not.
The one thing she's out there actually working, doing, promoting, selling merch.
Right.
Like, ChatGPT, sit down.
Yeah, so it kind of blew it on that. For Virginia, known as Virginia the Witch. Okay. It is kind of interesting, though, what ChatGPT does pick up and how it does it.
Yeah, because that's pretty...
Was that written somewhere? Can it pick up audio cues? Like, how did it get to Virginia the Witch?
We've got the song Virginia the Witch.
Maybe,
so there's a whole thing written about it on YouTube, and I would imagine that would probably...
So this is starting to kind of let you know how the bots are yanking information off the internet and then putting it together, and then when it regurgitates it, how close to right it is.
And sometimes I will tag, if we're doing a KVJ post, I'll tag Virginia's personal information with Virginia the Witch. So you're right. It's cherry picking what it wants on what you're putting out on the internet.
It says that Virginia has a daughter named Magnolia who goes by the nickname Mags. Mags was born in 2009 and is currently around 14 years old.
That's not right.
Says Virginia and her husband Jason try to keep their children's lives as private as possible.
What the fuck?
ChatGPT thinks y'all boning.
Honey, I really think we should keep the kids' lives private.
Yeah.
First of all, I would never say that. My kids know that, sorry, your life's public, and if you don't like it, you can find a new family.
It says that Mags is a talented dancer and enjoys ballet.
What? No.
And she's also interested in music and has played violin in the past.
Never.
Has she ever picked up a violin?
I don't think she has.
Has she ever said the word violin?
Never.
Yeah. Okay, so it's pretty off on that. It doesn't mention Rocco at all.
Oh, Rocco doesn't even exist?
No.
Well, ChatGPT's a dick.
Right?
Damn.
And here's what Michael put in for Jaybird. Because you are childless, he put in your Aunt Ann. It says, Ann is a beloved character on the KVJ radio morning show in Florida. She is portrayed by one of the show's co-hosts, Annabelle Ann Sciorra.
That's our old intern.
That's intern Annabelle.
Yeah, so ChatGPT will tell you that intern Anna was playing a character known as Aunt Ann.
And I hope you're not listening. And they're also talking us off Aunt Anne's still alive.
Those are so two different people.
Aunt Anne is known for her humorous and irreverent commentary on a wide range of topics, and she often injects a dose of levity into the show's discussions. She is known for her distinct voice and catchphrases such as, "I'm sweating like a whore in church," and "Life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid." Is she known for those quotes?
No, not at all.
So
They're both good quotes.
All ChatGPT is the world's biggest bullshitter.
It is.
That's all it is.
Wow.
In addition to her on-air persona, Aunt Anne is also involved in the behind-the-scenes production of the show. She helps to plan and coordinate the show's various segments and events, and she has been a part of the team since the show's inception in 1999.
That's not true.
Aunt Anne is a much-loved character, and her humor and wit have endeared her to many of the show's listeners.
Not only does it get it wrong, it makes us sound like fucking liars.
Yeah. People would be like, "I knew it, Aunt Anne's not real."
Yeah. People would ask me that.
That's a mess.
Yeah, she was played by our intern Annabelle.
Wow.
Those two couldn't be more different.
What the hell? They're two different people.
But what's weird is how, so what I gathered, I remember Annabelle talking about her being Italian on the air with that's on the internet with us being involved. We talk about Aunt Anne being Italian. They just for some reason pulled that and cross-referenced it.
Wow.
Yeah, they're just doing the cherry picking.
That's it, and that's what I find to be a little bit fascinating with it, is how it does get its information and how it works. And they keep saying that's why they're coming out with new, because you can see pulling up KVJ information, it's massively flawed. In fact, it was maybe 20% right?
Maybe.
It got a few of the quick headlines right. Virginia's name.
I'm glad it gave me credit for being a witch.
Yeah.
That it did.
There's so much information about you being a witch out on the internet because of me.
Like it or not, I think I'm a witch.
You are.
Yeah. That's just the way it goes now. We got an email here from Rhonda. She's got a suggestion about Do It Bitch. She said, Do It Bitch is so much fun to listen to. I actually have emotional reactions when listening. I know you just revamped it, but Kevin, it would be so much fun for you to be in the mix for guessing and gambling and rotate who MCs it. I'm not sure if that's the right term. I'm old. Anyway, I love thinking about topics and bathroom grooming tools. Could be a fun one. Yes, thank you. She's got a whole list here. I appreciate that. I'll do that. That could be something. I don't think we've done that topic yet.
Good topic.
Put it for quite a ways down the road so that nobody knows. Yeah, as far as rotating, honestly, it's a very chaotic segment because there's so much to keep straight with who's the gambler, who's the responder.
And there's so much fighting and debate.
And then you got to confirm answers, and it's just
easier, and it's the overall best move if Kevin just hosts the show and hosts that bit, and you can see the comments.
There's a lot of stuff I would love to partake in, but it just would be a fucking hot mess.
More than it already is.
And I always am like, gosh, this is going to be hard to follow. So, yeah, I think it's probably better to keep it as is. But thank you.
Yeah, good suggestion. It is a good suggestion.
Good, and give him topics too. If you ever think of a fun topic that we haven't covered yet, it's hard to come up with 5 new ones every week.
It is. I'm pretty much fresh out, and people had blanketed me with I got several emails, and I was good for like 2 months. And it was so nice just to be like, oh my gosh. You ever that feeling?
Yes.
It's kind of like when ChatGPT gets it right and does your work for you and it looks good. That was kind of it. I use our audiences. That's my ChatGPT.
That's bullshit bitch work. You want to get that shit done with.
Having you guys help me prep is so awesome. Gives me more time to drink.
There are other games, though, we do that you could play. That one of us could host. It's not so chaotic. Because I do like it when you play the games as well.
I do, too. And we've got a live show coming up at the end of April. And so we might mix it up there. Because, when you're not having to worry about your dead air and when it's a stage show.
Saying fuck on the regular air.
Everything I got to do. And I can just sit down and kind of relax. And it's a lot more loose than, I might jump into a couple things there and change it up. That'd be a great place to do that. Jonathan, with an observation about our best town bracket, he said, I think mostly what these brackets show is where your biggest active listener base is. I think there is a big part of that. He said, because what I've noticed from these brackets or polls that y'all do is it seems to really show who the people are and who are voting. Have you guys noticed that when you do these polls, the north towns or cities are favored? I mean, how does Port St. Lucie beat a Miami? I'm not a huge Miami fan, but there's way more to do in Miami over Port St. Lucie. I'm not saying anything against the north cities. I'm just curious if when y'all do these polls, you expect the Port St. Lucie area is going to do well because of the active listener base up there. Yeah, in fact, I think Port St. Lucie was a 2 seed, and they were up there. I almost debated putting them a 1 over Miami, but just because of Miami's size. And we do have a growing listenership in Miami, but it just goes to show you, if you're in Miami, you got to spread the word. So we need more down there because we don't market in Miami. So unless somebody just stumbles upon the show or tells somebody about it,
we don't
it'd be
market
nice.
We don't market it here.
We don't market in Lauderdale either.
No, you're right. We just don't market. So.
We don't market.
Yeah.
We go to market.
Yeah, that's it. So
This little piggy went to market last night.
word of mouth is really it. So when you guys spread the word or share any of our posts or our podcasts, it is massive for us.
Yeah, when
We
you do-
need you.
Yeah, when you go, I was listening to KVJ. Those fucks are still around? Yes.
Yeah. But no, good observation. I thought this was an interesting response here that Alyssa in Pompano Beach sent in. The Florida House, I think it was, the state house, they unanimously passed a measure to look into year-round schooling. It is going to be a study, in a sense, or an experiment done over 4 years in 5 different school districts within the state. And they just want to look at the odds and ends and see what it's all about and test, I guess, some different theories out. You know, a big part of it that also has to do with a lot of Florida students are still way behind from the pandemic, and they're trying desperately to get them caught up.
Have they talked about which counties will go to this?
They haven't sat down for that yet. They're going to figure it out. So I think that's the next discussion. It was just the first vote to say, do we want to do this? Unanimously, they said yes. And I think the next step will be saying, okay, where are we going to do it? Now, I think Palm Beach County might be the biggest school district in the state. It's big. So I'm thinking it might be. It's obviously in the top 3. But yeah, I think it might be the biggest just because of the size of the county and how many students we have. So it'd be interesting if they chose Palm Beach County for it. But Alyssa said, I went to year-round school in elementary back in the 90s in Orlando. The school year had the same amount of days, and 180 days are required, or the time equivalent in hours to 180 days. And everybody had a week each spring and winter break, just with a shorter summer, maybe a month and a half. Those weeks were taken from summer that were then sprinkled throughout the year at different times, and parents could choose which times they wanted. For example, there were 4 tracks parents could choose from, and each track had different weeks off throughout the year. Yellow had a week off in February, May, and October, while blue may have a week in January, April, and September. It also worked great for things like janitorial and maintenance because there was always time where one track that was in school could have the rooms cleaned or repaired without interruption. And another benefit was that you didn't have to only take vacations only in the summer or winter breaks during the most crowded times. And summer was just long enough to avoid the burnout. When I moved to South Florida, the traditional schedule transition was difficult and the time between breaks was too long. As someone who has been in the classroom as a student and a former teacher, I would choose year-round every time.
Huh.
It's a pretty good endorsement. And you think about that because there are, especially if you look at a Palm Beach County, I know because my wife is a teacher and she has parents that are traveling so much. I mean, you know, a lot of her, parents make a lot more money than I do, but they will be, sorry, we're going to be in Aspen. Oh my gosh, we're going to be at our 4th house in Los Angeles.
You were just there.
Oh, we're going to be in the Hamptons. Oh my gosh, we're in Switzerland.
Shut up.
Yeah.
You're annoying.
It's always kind of a problem. And I do notice that she's got kids that are out all the time. But if you kind of know that, hey, we always go skiing this time of year, then they could get on that track where they would be able to almost handpick their weeks.
The person that does, and I've met that kind of person. We're going to Aspen. That's so annoying. Yeah, I know the kind of person you're talking about.
Yeah. So it is kind of an interesting perspective. To me, I think it'd be fascinating to see what would happen. I think that there could be a lot of benefits. I think after they do the 4-year experiment, there might be a lot of good arguments to say, hey, I think this is good. And today it was a clear landslide. It was like, what, 70% of people hated it?
And I'm still with the majority on this.
Yeah.
Traditionalists.
But it might open your eyes after they start explaining some of these things, like Alyssa just did. You'd be like, okay, that might not be good. And especially, like I said, if you're a single parent and finding summer camps or sitters or things like that is really crazy and hard for you, this might be an easier solution. Michael said, you're talking about reality shows. And speaking of editing and crappy, shitty reality shows that are not reality, not sure if you guys are aware of this. I'm listening to your ATS podcast right after you were done talking shit about reality shows and editing. You had an advertisement for the Survivor podcast. And in my opinion, that's a heavily edited show as well, but then you just advertised it.
Those are dynamically inserted. We have no choice about what runs there.
And you're right about those Survivor shows. The competitions are the competitions, but they need other shit to fill. They will do that whole music thing, and me and Virginia could be looking at each other, and they hate each other, and we just both get stung by a bee.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's something we don't control, but I'm sure that is fun when you talk shit about something, and then all of a sudden, here's an ad for it. And that's actually happened on the real show before, too, where I'm like, I think I'll probably move that to another commercial.
Big time. We'll talk
But at least on the normal show, you have control over those a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't help what they stick in the podcast because it just goes wherever the computer puts it.
Well, I think sometimes people think that we approve every commercial, every song, everything that goes on the air, and we just don't.
We don't.
Have zero power with all that.
Zero. Less than zero.
What is less than zero?
Us.
Okay.
That's what ChatGPT is going to pull up next.
Let me get your ass a mirror.
Well, just on that stuff, we can't control any of that.
No. Mm-hmm. In fact, sometimes we'll have to do commercials and we're like, I don't know about this.
Heather sent an email and she said, Jaybird, I use the term hot neck all the time now because of you. You talk about hot neck. And my husband's always like, what the hell is hot neck? I told him if you are thirsty or it feels hot in your throat. But he's like, that is not what hot neck is.
That's not hot neck.
And he looked it up and found what hot neck is all about, so you do know the technical definition and not get it confused. Hot neck is the act of shooting a load of hot cum on your buddy's neck while you two are tag teaming some random whore.
What?
That is not the hot neck I was speaking of. No, the hot neck I knew of was from Lake Park and a term my dad had back in Pennsylvania. And the juicy daddy wasn't getting that kind of juice.
He wasn't shooting loads of hot cum on his buddy's
How
neck?
How juicy is your daddy?
No. Hot neck just basically means, you know what I'm talking about when you... No, it's not the cum, Virginia.
Hot dog neck?
No, hot neck. You drink something and then it comes back up and it burns your throat, kind of like acid reflux a little bit.
It's basically acid reflux. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's hot neck.
Gotcha.
There's certain things that just gives you instant hot neck, not instant.
And another definition for hot neck is farting onto the back of the person's head who is sitting in front of you while seated in stacked row-style seating typically found in arena or stadium venues. That's how you give someone a hot neck.
You are a terrorist.
What?
If you fart on the person's head sitting below you in an arena...
I think they can get you for assault for that, right? They should.
They should.
If you go on and fart on somebody and they don't want it, you need to be arrested.
Yeah.
And at least spend, I'm going to go 2 weeks in jail on that one.
Okay.
Think about the grossest person you know. They grab you and fart on your neck, and you had no control. They need to go to jail for a little bit.
It's terrible. Send them right to jail.
Yeah. Okay. So when you think about hot neck, think about the act of shooting a load of hot cum on your buddy's neck while you two are tag teaming a random whore.
Wow.
So busy.
It's a lot. They try to throw in so much vulgarity with such little time.
Thank you, Urban Dictionary.
Thank you, Urban Dictionary. We can always count on you to bring it down a notch.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. An email here from Steve, a.k.a. El Guapo. He said, I heard you guys complain about the HOA boards for years. In fact, I got so fed up with mine that I decided to try and change things.
Oh, boy.
I got myself elected to the HOA board and served 2 years fighting every act of petty tyranny with almost zero positive results because it was just me against 8.
That's it. Majority rules. You can't fight the HOA unless you hold the majority. And as long as there's 8 of them and 1 of you, you are what we call fucked.
This is the second email you've received with somebody trying to change the HOA, and they're saying the same exact thing.
You have to get friends. You have to flip several seats and pull a majority. That's why I put my hands in the air and said, fuck these morons. I couldn't flip the whole town.
You'd have to get people that are just as passionate and just as pissed and just as much that wants to dedicate that time to make a change.
And we did. In my community, we flipped 3 seats. But there's 9 people total. And we do not have a majority in my community of rational people that are not just stupid, old, angry.
So you took your shot and you missed, so they fucking hate you.
Well, they know that, when they die, we will replace them. And I want them to be on notice that we're all anticipating their impending death.
Yeah, but they're going to put you on notice and say, it don't matter because we are the HOA zombie style.
Damn, HOA zombie?
Yes.
They can't be stopped.
So Steve says, I declined to run for a second term. It was exhausting and pointless.
Yep.
They broke you.
They will break you if you are a rational person because they're not rational.
So here's an idea, a new HOA political party. We get KVJ Nation to get elected, infiltrate these boards, and act like reasonable and kind human beings. It will only work with numbers. Pickle party or something like that. The naughty potty, I don't know what we call it, but we need to do something.
The naughty potty.
That's a person that is just throwing Hail Marys to get some peace.
I'm so sorry you had to go through that because I know your pain, but majority rules.
The fuckers broke them.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious if some of these really high-end places have annoying HOAs. If you're living in Bears Club or Admiral's Cove or something along those lines, are they even more miserable, or the fact that some of their residents and members are so wealthy and famous that they don't fuck with them?
They definitely have a board. I worked at a very fancy club, and they had a board, and there was membership there, and you would hear people talk shit about it. So in every circle, if people are in charge and there's a lot of people involved, someone's always going to talk shit. Even if you're on the same side in the beginning, they're not going to do it as right as you would do it, of course, or as they would do it.
And even if you get out some of the dirt bags, which in mine, they did. They got rid of some of the people that were doing it wrong. You never know who you're going to be replacing them with and who that person's agenda is going to be manipulated by. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was thinking, because I saw a story yesterday. One of the best, or at least definitely the highest paid player in all of Major League Baseball, his name is Max Scherzer. And he is now a pitcher with the New York Mets. He used to be here because he was with the Washington Nationals for a while.
He is good, and he's got a psycho work ethic. Don't fuck with him when he's getting ready to pitch.
Yeah, he makes $43 million a year.
Dang.
He's one of the best in baseball.
Mm-hmm. So he just bought a corner waterfront property on Commodore Drive in Jupiter for $18 million.
Is Commodore Drive? I think that's Admiral's, isn't that?
It is Admiral's Cove. Yeah, he's in there. In fact, he has another house that is in there, a waterfront mansion on the same street that they acquired in 2020 for $9.8 million. So he's got this, it's got a house on it. He's going to tear it down because he just wants the land. He's going to put up a whole new mansion, all that kind of stuff.
That happens a lot in South Florida with waterfront properties.
So you've got Max Scherzer in there who just bought an $18 million mansion that's going to be worth more when he tears it down and builds up whatever monstrosity he's going to do. Let's say he's got a Mets flag hanging off the front of his house. Are you like, yeah, Mr. Scherzer, that's got to come down. They're an HOA. We're going to fine you $10,000 a day until you take it down. I mean, are they going to fuck with a guy like that for something that would be trivial and stupid? Let's say Max Scherzer drives a truck
Yeah, Mr. Scherzer, there's no pickup trucks allowed here in Admiral's Cove.
Money rules the world. If you're paying money, or you're paying a lot of money, you'll have special treatment.
But it's all about what's in the bylaws. Every community has bylaws, and there are sticklers that will make sure that every single bylaw is maintained to the fullest. And if there's a rule about no flags, they will come for Mr. Scherzer and they will fine him until he takes down his Mets flag because they don't have anything better to do.
I mean, but the guys, especially now, how often is he home?
I don't know, but I mean,
No, I mean, he plays in New York, and he's got a place there as well. He's got a $5 million home on Long Island, so I guess he probably lives in that during the season. He's down here in the off season, but you're only going to get to him from October to February.
look, if you're not here, take your flag down because they will fine you for every day of your infraction.
Well, think about it too. If you imagine, let's take the Met flag off the table. Let's get into a political flag. That would cause That would cause some shit. If you had a person that had a flag flying, rich people that are in politics that don't agree with you, you think they're going to take that? So you're probably right.
Yeah, if there's bylaws in Admiral's Cove that say no political flags, they will not let you keep a political flag. They don't care
even if you're Max Scherzer, the highest paid guy in all of Major League Baseball.
They do not give a
Fuck
crap.
that guy. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's the integrity of the neighborhood.
I don't know how many places Max Scherzer has. Mandolin said he lives full time in Jupiter Island right now.
Wow. So he's got Admirals and Jupiter Island?
He's one of the best to play in modern day baseball, so he's going to have a lot of money.
Wow.
Yeah. She said,
Did he play last night in that thing down in Miami with all the...
No.
No.
She said, my dad's his UPS driver, and he's met him. He's so nice. So that's good to hear.
I love watching him pitch. He's one of my favorite players to watch.
And she said the Mets now minority owner also lives on Jupiter Island. So, yeah, so it really honestly is insane. I mean, just being here and as plugged in as we are to everything going on in the community, I'm always stunned at who has a house here.
Yeah,
it's like I had no idea that they lived here.
They got him listed at least $130 million for his net worth. At least.
Yeah, well, at least because I think he had a 3-year deal and it was worth that. So that's where they've got him at $43 million a year.
If he's buying waterfront mansions and maybe flipping and selling a few, and he's got so many properties, that guy is gonna increase that money by a lot.
Could you imagine having that kind of cheddar? I mean,
and being that good at baseball. I mean, the amount of tail he probably pulls. Is he married?
I don't believe he's married.
Oh, poor guy.
It is pretty insane. Just honestly, the life that some of those people have, and it is kind of crazy because with my wife and some of the parents she has, if there's an event, like she had one of her kids that was out the other day because their dad was at the Academy Awards, and I was like, how crazy is that? You're just like, wow. So that's what they do. Anytime a big event happens on, the kid gets in the private jet and they take off and go do their thing. Can you imagine that life?
I would like to come back as their dog.
Honestly, the dog. It's got to be badass because I'm sure they probably load the dog on the private jet. And
of course, he's part of the family.
Oh, yeah, you lick your own balls. It's amazing.
If you're a rich dog, do you comprehend how awesome your life is, or you just don't know any better, right?
Do you know?
Guarantee you.
Do you think rich dogs actually know that they got a badass life?
If you asked Max Scherzer's dog, or if you asked a homeless man's dog, hey guys, who do you think has it better?
They know.
Here's the only thing I would say to that. And I'll put them all up. I don't know if Max Scherzer has a dog or not. Let's say that he does. I will tell you, there is a homeless guy that I always see on the northbound ramp of Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard off I-95 in West Palm Beach. He's a dude and he has a blanket. He has 2 dogs. And these dogs are so well trained. They just chill on the blanket the whole day. And he's out there, trying to get the money and dog food money. He's got a bag of dog food and they got treats and all that kind of stuff. And then he's over there with them. I wonder if they're thinking, man, we got the best life. We got an owner that's always with us.
Oh, I hope they do.
How often is Max Scherzer there really taking time, petting his dog, playing with it?
Or do the dogs just think they're on the longest walk they've ever been on?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So I wonder if
at mealtime, Matt Scherzer's dogs know that they are fancy.
The homeless guy looked like he had decent food. It was, a nice bag, and he looks like a great pet owner. And I was kind of wondering, like, if I were a dog, from the dog's perspective, we're bringing in the human element to this. I mean, what does a dog need to be comfortable? You know, really. And the companionship may have such a high value for a dog. They'd be going, oh my, are you kidding me? Homeless dog all day long.
Companionship is their top dog for the dog.
Food and companionship. They love food.
They
gotta have that
You're
food.
right. You're right.
They do. Most dogs need that companionship.
So
They're
if
so simple and sweet.
Right. And it's a good lesson to all of us.
Amen.
Because I think a dog all day long would choose being the homeless dog with an owner that is right there and active with you all day than Max Scherzer's dog.
And this is why I wish animals could talk. Damn it!
This is so deep.
I would love it. I wish animals could talk.
Yeah, it's just a thought.
They can. Ask that dog whisperer, Cesar.
Whatever. We all can be dog whisperers. Oh, your dog thinks you look great.
Yeah, just a thought of maybe how we all need to be a little bit more like dogs. Am I wrong?
Woof, woof.
Woof,
That's
woof.
right. Wolf, wolf.
Just don't eat your own poop.
That's
Or
right. Yeah.
don't sniff your friend's butt when you meet them.
It's true.
Or
Yeah.
just take your nose and just.
Or just don't walk up to somebody you don't really know and start humping them from behind and just, really doing that. And don't let everybody see your boner. It's probably another piece of advice.
Put your boner away.
Yeah, so okay. All right, appreciate all the emails. You know, I send them to us, mail@kvjshow.com. Y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.